the future.
You're done.
Everyone is playing, you're not yet. EWC Play is your all-in-one platform to compete in fantasy, pick'em, and quests for a grand total of $300,000 in prize pool. Build your dream fantasy team in 5 different games and track your score with live results tables. Predict the winner of every game, every group stage, and every tournament. Complete daily and weekly challenges to earn boosters that help you climb the global leaderboard. Got what it takes? Join EWC Play now.
A lot of people are haunted by their past. I'm inspired by it.
They're not just playing for themselves, they're really playing for their entire family.
They have defeated their demons! They have crushed the curse!
$75 million, 25 tournaments, over 200 clubs, only one club champion. The club championship is the beating heart of the Esports World Cup. Over 7 weeks, esports clubs send their players to compete. Every placement, every win, every podium earns points for their club. At the end of 7 weeks, every point counts. The club at the top walks away with $7 million and the title of Best Esports Club in the world. It's not about being the best at one game. It's about being the best across all of them. Depth, versatility, consistency under pressure. One championship trophy, one title. Who will take it? Watch history unfold in Paris at the Esports World Cup 2026.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by Play.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
We book Esports World Cup up. Je suis prêt, c'est parti, voir où m'emmène la vie. Chrome sur mon green, tu m'entends quand je respire. Top le veston, jamais dit, jamais fait une trop de pas. Big plan, j'ai fait changer toute la piste. Regarde ma pêche, je pense pas j'attire. Je coupe la line, laisse la qui laisse frémir. Nouvelle état, new name, toujours fluide dans le move. Main en l'air quand je rentre dans le groove. Garde ce regard, je suis déjà posé. Deux pas je tourne, glace dans mes yeux figés. Vite encore, puis je prends tout ce qui est à moi. Trop vite, trop fort.
This is Paris. It's very hot today, and scooters are loud. These are our bikes, many bikes. I like bikes. This is where we buy tickets. This is the pigeon. I like him. This is where we enter. This is where you spin the wheel. This is where we drink café. This is a croissant. This is basketball. You can use it. This is a DJ. This is a chicken. This is where we play video games. These are the jerseys. I like this one. It's how we cheer. These are my friends. Good friends. These are our players. This is where they put crush keys. Boo-hoo. This is EWC. Merci.
Welcome to the battlefield.
Remember, we are the hunters, and they are the prey.
A real hunter always watches where he steps.
Come closer, I dare you.
They said it could not be done. They were wrong.
I trust my teammates, and they trust me.
Let's get to work.
A champion will be crowned today in R6 Esports, and if you're in Paris, lucky enough to be at the venue, the Lenovo Legion Gauntlet will have one team lift a trophy that will signal the beginning of their legacy, or maybe the continuation of it is a better way to describe it. From Furia to FaZe, Brazilian gods in this game. Can one of them cement that they are the best, not only in the region, but in the world? That will happen a little bit later on. To start us off, we've got a third place match that will also bring fireworks. A battle of North America versus Europe. EML, NAL going toe-to-toe to see who really had the breakout performance. Is it the new constructed GK roster who has proven the doubters very, very wrong up until this point? A third would certainly cement that conversation. Or will we go back to Dark Zero, who recently won the Salt Lake City Major, to say they were so close and it could have been North America on top again, except for a few maps from yesterday. All of the stories to unfold, all the action here in Paris. And for those of you watching at home, we love you, we appreciate you, and we welcome into the finals day. My name is Rain Day, and I'm joined here on the panel with two lovely gentlemen you'll see throughout the entire day. And of course, to kick us off, iconic Alphama. When it comes to a finals, when it comes to a moment like this is the stuff you dream for as a player and as a person to be a part of.
Of course, I feel like that final day always just has a little bit more anxiety and a little bit more fun to it. You come in with your music blaring, you got the fans screaming, and I feel like it just really sets the tone for the day. And it's a day you'll remember forever, winning or losing.
That's right.
I didn't play many grand finals in my life. It was only on minor events, but I will say this. There is something where, you're in the player hotel and you watch the other players that are eliminated. There's a little bit of an aura. When you're playing that grand finals day, you're like, I'm the better one this time.
It's a special day, and for those who are going to be joining us throughout it, you're here just in time. All the stories will unfold. We'll continue stories that started last week here at the group stage as well. And as we go to our STC Rewind to tell you how we got here to this moment, it was so many different, I think, parallels colliding. Teams from different regions and also similar regions. You see Brazil, we have a final we'll be doing later on in this afternoon. But when it came to EML, two EML teams had to battle against each other just to get past themselves in the quarterfinals. It was GK who would take that spot, and obviously falling short yesterday. It was a great performance from a team that, again, had less expectations than I think they've proven to the people who were watching at home.
Of course, and I feel like they're just doing really well. You saw Ask, he was very light in the interview, knowing just how respected he is of FaZe Clan, and knowing that every team in the world should be aspiring to play like FaZe Clan. So it's just really good to see yourself respecting your opponent even in that loss.
And when it came to the semifinals, I felt like it was a very surprising day. Yes, we did go all three maps on every single one of them, but so many maps were heavily one-sided. It felt like teams were responding to each other, were innovating in between maps, but not really during the maps, and that's why we saw so many one-sided ones. But in the end, I think we do see the favorites, right? FaZe, the two times world champions of the team, making it to the grand final. Furia, the most experienced team, obviously, and probably maybe upsetting the major champions in what we could call, I think, an upset, because obviously I was expecting maybe a DZ FaZe grand final.
Right.
But two very interesting matchups, and as I said, very surprising one-sided during the games.
Boxera Diaz having fun. Boxera just left the stage and just started partying with the fans there. Had no concern for the handshake, but he's been here from Tier 2 now to a grand final. That's going to be exciting. But on the other side of it, it was GK Esports going up against FaZe. Admittedly, while maybe the proven debut that has kind of been like, wow, GK are here, it still was maybe the most difficult task to get through FaZe, and they weren't able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you see just an unknown. You saw Ask talking about them playing Consulate. They had scrimmed it, but it was one of their first times playing it on game day. And you really just see that, and you have to learn on those game day reps, those experiences of playing the map to really just get the best out of yourself.
Yeah, Vita King was phenomenal in this game as well. But when you look at the way that they played, from Cyber to Handy taking over in some rounds, it was a team effort all the way, Alpha.
Yeah, and that's the truth with FaZe, is any single player on that team can carry the team on that one day. They're incredible when it comes to teamwork. And whenever you check the stats from that roster, you're always like, there's not one big player, everyone does his job. And I think looking back at that semifinal, GK, they've got a weird play style that can get them maybe the first map, but FaZe, they've got the brains in Vita King to come up with a counter on the two last maps.
Such a rarity and blessing to be able to have a team that good, that stays together for that long. It's going to be a challenge for Furia, but they certainly are are up for it as two Brazilian teams are going to put on a masterclass for us to end the day. But to kick off today, we have our third place match. Now, the last match, the grand final, will be a best of 5. This still a best of 3, gentlemen, and kind of starting to look at Dark Zero and GK Esports. They come into it with two different lines of thought. GK Esports after that rebuild, Dark Zero trying to kind of keep momentum after Salt Lake, and both falling a little bit short. So now where does that leave them? And I'll kind of raise this big question to you. What do you think's at stake for both of these teams and their continuity, their kind of themes as teams going forward?
I think what's at stake is just seeing the systems. How can you bounce back after an extremely tough loss? Because I feel like you're not bouncing out of the tournament, but you're going into this third place match. You know, it's not what you wanted. You want it to be in the grand final, but you have to take where you are and see what you can learn from. So seeing if they can capitalize on the mistakes they made yesterday and have a good stepping stone going into their off season and then into their next stage. So it's going to be able to just keep building that momentum.
I truly believe they don't approach this game the same way, right? On one side, you've got DZ who won the last major, who are maybe more expected to make the grand final. So this is more disappointment for them. Obviously, they're still playing for $200K dollars, so that is massive.
Yeah.
But I think really the guys that are going to try to prove themselves, that's GK. I mean, so many of them were still amateur players a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Some of them never got close to grand finals. The only player that played an S-tier grand final is Ask, and I was all the way back in Jönköping in 2022 with Team Liquid. I mean, for most of these guys, that's the peak of their career so far.
Absolutely.
So winning that matchup is just as important as winning the semifinal yesterday.
Yeah, of course, beating a major winner as well in Dark Zero. That would be a nice cherry on top for their performance here in Paris. Speaking of, if you heard some crowds chanting in the background, that's because there are other games going on in other stages that all have an impact on the club championship race as it comes down to our final week. Chris Tunn standing by with an update.
CC update to kick off your day about this little trophy, because this trophy, well, it's nearly in the hands of AGAL. They now have themselves a 500-point lead, something that we never would have expected at the start of this 7 weeks. We still have a week to go. Things aren't decided, but yesterday's result with Dennis Lazovic making it to the grand final, he will be going up against Magnus Carlsen in chess later on today. That is going to be a tough game for him to find. But I mean, with the way that he's been upsetting players across the board over in the Allianz Vault, there may well be an opportunity for him to take down Magnus, although a lot of people are poo-pooing that idea. But the big reason as to why it's important that Dennis was able to pick up as many points as he has done in chess, as mentioned, gives AGAL that 500-point lead heading into next week, which is the ultimate showdown between Falcons and AGAL. For AGAL, Crossfire is massive for them. Going into that as favorites is going to be huge in the club championship. For Falcons, it feels like they're going to have to pick up a win somewhere along the line. When that's going to happen, though, I don't really know. There is so much still to play for here in the club championship, but the AGL team and squad very much have their hand on it at this moment in time.
Thank you, Chris. Standing by at the trophy area, which we will see that totem have one new key in it, of course, after we do our grand final this evening. Also, a key. You think it's going to be crushed. It will be crushed, but it's unfortunately already been crushed for the two teams that are going to be playing first. They did that yesterday, so it's like not going to be that quintessential key crush we have at EWC. Here's a little bit of the leaderboard that he talked about as well. Falcons looking for 500 more points. AGL in the lead. Of course, none of the teams that we're really talking about here in Rainbow Six Siege are in that top 5, so it would be a little bit higher stakes if they were, but the stakes are still high. $85,000 financially. That's a difference, Iconic, in terms of winning one game in Rainbow Six.
Yes, and I feel like, too, we talked about DZ saying they might not be as in it, but I feel like DZ's culture,
yeah, you're right.
The opponent, they're going to be going for it no matter what here, so I feel like it's going to be a great game of Siege.
It's men on a mission. Whatever the game is, whatever the mission is, they will be on it. And they are probably the most disciplined team in our ecosystem, so I think they will fight for it. I do think that when you start playing professionally, you're not doing this for the money, you're doing this for the passion. And I think that most importantly, for the guys on GK, winning that title, proving to everyone that rebuild was the thing to go for, proving that they're here, Falcons isn't, G2 isn't, Virtus Pro isn't, the best teams of EML, they're not here. So if they make top 3 at EWC, that's a massive statement for the rest of the season.
I love that, and it's a great way to start off stage 2 as well for these teams. Speaking of, if you think you know a narrative that stands out a little bit better or you want to get involved, make sure to scan that QR code on your screen and join our pick'ems. There's up to $300,000 of prizes that you can earn. Yes, at $300,000 of prizing, so make sure to get involved. Let us know who you think's going to win this first matchup and the grand finals. We may be able to show you some predictions, or maybe we'll read them out to you as well. But either way, get involved, gentlemen, as we narrow in on our third place match. Dark Zero, GK Esports. I mentioned the $300,000 that's a part of it, but also the fact that these two regions are clashing, North America, Europe, EML. There is that iconic, and even on my desk, look at you, staring each other down, Batman versus Alfama. How do you guys feel about just the regional pressure? Is there any? I mean, is that even a real thing? Do you feel it?
I feel like it's all narrative at the end of the day. I feel like as a player,
we're spinning some yarn here.
You want to beat whoever is in front of you, no matter where they're from, especially if you are playing against players that you know. It's going to be a battle, and I feel like they know Yaga very well. They're going to want to beat him from back in the day on XSET these days, so they're going to know the opponent and they're going to go for it.
Is that true at home? Are you guys watching and going, it doesn't matter if North America beats Europe? Because I can see some chat saying, I think it does matter. I think it does matter. And they know their fans are watching as well, and so that's something that might be a motivational factor. I love how you mentioned Dark Zero's culture, because Alfama, you were immediately like, that's right. I think that, they're looking beyond. Sometimes discipline is about taking the ability to do something now that improves your future much farther in front of you. And so that is kind of the quintessential Dark Zero mentality that they bring to each and every performance.
Yeah, I mean, we were both teammates of Colot before, and we've both heard him one day say, you get slightly better every single day, and you much rather have long-term progress than trying to jump any step. And I think although they won the major, a couple months ago, it's not because they're third place or fighting for third place today that they're worse. I think they're just still trying to use this opportunity. They're on the stage. There is a crowd. They're playing for a big cash prize. This is massive training for these guys to get better, and already looking at Osaka at the major, trying to repeat another title.
I've seen a lot of teams, and as we focus in on Dark Zero, have a mentality when they lose that the first thing they want to do is actually get back out there like that, because that's the way that you change the narrative back. You don't sit with a loss for several weeks and then wait to get on stage. So this could be the opportunity that Coach Callout, as you mentioned, with his father having a military background and bringing in that ego is the enemy mentality, the meditation, the focus on the long term, that could be the difference in Dark Zero getting the edge in this matchup. We had a chance to talk with J90 and Ann earlier before this head-to-head. Let's see what they had to say.
A quick chat with J90 before their game today. J90, first off, let's recap yesterday. What was your main takeaway from the loss against Furia?
I'd say my main takeaway is probably we just got to focus in on the details and being decisive on what our plan is and executing.
Now, most teams, when they win a tournament, they come in with the next tournament with a big target on their back. They tend to not perform as well as with the first tournament. You guys don't really seem to have that. You still got really far in the tournament. Why do you think that was?
I think that's because we just don't care about what happened in the past, and we're always just trying to be in the present and focusing on the next game, the next round, the next play, whatever.
And now listening to you guys' comms, I've heard a Jasmine and a Jessica and a 41 and a 50. Fultz was talking to me about how you guys have these code names so that A, people can't hear it, but also B, to keep the spirits up. How do you guys come up with these, and how do you make sure that everybody still knows what you're going on about?
Well, the 41 and the 50 is kind of strategy stuff, but the Jasmine and Jessica, that's all just purely for vibes, and we're just trying to be happy. And I think it cut off as we were doing our spiel, but it's some ridiculous stuff, and it usually puts some smiles on people's faces, so that's always good.
Yeah, we absolutely saw that. And for today, then, the game plan, because this game has a difference of about $100,000. That must be a thing that's in the back of you guys' mind.
To be honest, I didn't really know, but now I do. But I mean, we don't obviously we want money, but we're just trying to be the best versions of ourselves and go out and execute, do the best we can.
I feel like that's very good vision. Thank you for your time and good luck.
Of course. Thank you.
Some nice words from J90 there. How do we feel about that, Iconic?
I mean, just to show you how much they don't care, asking about how he feels about the money, they didn't know. And even, too, when they qualified for this event, I remember I went in their comms after to congratulate them, and folks was like, what do you mean we qualified? He didn't even know. So they stay so detached from what is ahead of them, they only stay focused on the current moment. So,
there's a little bit of that I can relate to. I also can relate to knowing what's coming and seeing that as a positive thing as well. But on the flip side, knowing what's coming is not something GK Esports fans have been able to have this year, because in June, they added 3 of the members that you see on here, Grubba, Yaga, and Yoper, to really make this the roster that it is. And now they've proven that not only is this roster ready to go, but they are potentially the 3rd best team at the biggest tournament right now in Siege Esports. We'll see how they handle this pressure and if they can do it, as we had Ann sit down and chat with them as well.
We're speaking to Gruby before their final game today. Gruby, I quickly want to talk about yesterday. Surely you're disappointed with a loss against FaZe, but then again, you still brought it close to the reigning world champions. Somewhere you must also be proud.
Yeah, first thing, hello. I mean, I think the game yesterday, obviously we are kind of disappointed that we lost to FaZe, but at the same time, I don't think you can be that much disappointed when you lose to back-to-back champions. I think we still put a fair fight. Like, we won our map, like Chalet, pretty convincing 7-5. I think we could close the game a bit faster. And I mean, the other maps, I think they are just way more experienced in the whole situation that like we had to face. I mean, it's FaZe at the end, so the more mistakes you do, they're just gonna punish you because they have 5 best players in the world, so the game will always be tough to play. And yesterday they played better. I think the consulate was way closer than it looked on the result in the scoreboard. I think the game was really close, but we didn't make it work. Like, they won, they played well. That's all.
And in general, for your first experience here as an international tournament with this team, what was your favorite moment so far? What do you feel like is something you're most proud of?
I think making it to the playoffs and also taking the map from FaZe, I think like proving that we can play the game on a good level, but we still have like a lot of things to work. But I think just going there, playing our game against FaZe on the first map, like, you know, just we knew this is our map, like we knew that we can beat them, and I think it paid off. You know, I think just overall that the hard work that we put for the whole year, I think, I mean, not maybe a year, just a month, I would say, like it paid off, you know, and we are all happy because of that.
That's good, that's good. I mean, you get to pretty tough matches for your last 2 games here. You get to play against the reigning world champions, now against the reigning major champions. What's the expectations for today?
The expectations for today, I think we just need to go there on the server and play our game like we had, you know, there's no pressure for us, you know, it's obviously everyone wants to win, but we won't say no to a third place as a first event for the whole team. So obviously we want to win, we just want to go on the server, do our job, play our game, follow it, and hopefully we can win.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you for your time and good luck.
Thank you.
You know, I do like the atmosphere that's happening with these players. They feel relaxed. Alphama, they also feel confident that what they did yesterday was kind of a worthwhile result from all of the hard work leading up to this moment.
Yeah, it's journey that matters really for these guys, especially for young teams that changed a couple of players, you know, only a month ago. And just to remember everyone, like they did kick some really popular players. So like the players that they brought, first importing a Brazilian player, importing a US player, like it sends a message for the other players in the region. And so certainly they needed to prove that it was worth it, and I think they've done that.
GK, as the maps come up in just a second, have taken a map off of FaZe. He mentioned that in the interview. They beat Furia, and they actually also beat Team Secret, who many people saw having this run and were defending EWC champions, albeit a different roster. What do we need to see from them now to prove it as we take a look at Night Haven Labs as the first pick from GK Esports?
Especially Dark Zero starting on the defensive side, on the attacking side, you have to really make Dark Zero uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like Jana said, they're going to be looking to get into their plays, making sure they're in sync and just being decisive. So GK going to have to be decisive back at how they want to break those plays and how they want to counter out their defenses here. Dark Zero, they play a very heavy style of rotation on the defensive side. They really challenge you and they make you uncomfortable. So you have to be ready for that. And like they said in the game yesterday, they know it's not going to be easy and it won't be any easier today.
You know, they've had a lot of history on this map, Alphama.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bold move. I mean, I know GK are on a 4-win streak on the map, but we saw Dark Zero 7-1 Furia on the map yesterday. Now we see DZ pick Cafe, obviously. A bit of a weird one, in my opinion, because we both saw Dark Zero and GK played at this tournament. It was always close. I think 7-5 victory for DZ against Skag, 8-6 on the side of GK. So not a huge map for these two teams whatsoever.
What's interesting is that now as we take a look at these bands, you see where they've gone. Night Haven's been a big feature. Chalet is our decider map. He mentioned Chalet, the hard work they put on. They took that map off FaZe.
And of course, too, but you have to remember, too, back to the Salt Lake City Major, DZ also taking down FaZe 7-0 on that map. So I feel like it's 2 big dogs on Chalet coming into FaZe.
I mean, you're managing to beat the world champions. And on top of that, 5-win streak on the side of DZ, 7-win streak on the side of GK, 1-win streak ends today. If we get to a decider, that's going to be a banger.
Wow, that will be a lot of fun as well. We mentioned they both took down FaZe. So you think they might be even from our side. We're surprised to see the 70%, 30% GK Esports. Why do you think that is?
I mean, I know Leo's happy about that one.
Even if I'm biased, I'm surprised. I mean, clearly major champions versus GK, a bunch of guys that just got put together a month ago.
You know, Furia, obviously, you know, they beat Dark Zero, and GK beat Furia. So is it a matchup thing? Is it a timing thing, how these two teams are playing? What do you think?
I think maybe there's a story about momentum. Who wants it more?
Yeah.
DK, they really want to prove that they deserve to be here. They really want to get to the peak of their career. DZ, they've already won a lot of stuff, so I guess maybe that's where it comes from. But even I struggle to explain that result.
The dark horse might be in the light now, so I feel like DK fans are starting to show up for him. So
okay,
let's see
you
if they
poet.
can do it.
Hey, man.
Okay, you poet. I see you. I see
you. Hey, man.
you.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. That's a Batman quote right there for you. He just told me that he's called Batman. I'm like, how are you going to wait this long to tell me that you're Batman?
Said Batman never reveals himself. You know, I'm in the shadows.
Rain, do you know my last name? Robin.
You mean I got Batman and Robin up in here? What does that make me? Your driver?
Are you Catwoman?
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth on that one. I'm actually, I'm not Catwoman. I will actually reveal that is not me. But in terms of finding my footing on the stage, I'll say maybe I have some of these attributes here. It's been a fun week, gentlemen. We get to kick off this amazing Saturday and this third place matchup. Money's on the line, but there's so many other things iconic that these teams are fighting for.
Especially, too, I feel like, again, like Leo said, as a competitor, you have so much driving you to this point. Your whole life has really been building towards these moments. So I feel like you kind of came out weak yesterday. You had a bad showing. Can you close out strong just to build that momentum going into your later half of the season?
Important to get better, important to get the reps when you're in front of a crowd, when you're on stage. This is exactly the kind of conditions that you want when you're a pro player.
We are handing out over $1 million of prizing today, Saturday, in R6 Esports. We've got our third, fourth place match, and then our grand finals closing out the day. To kick it off, it's going to be a banger. North America versus Europe here in Paris. What more could you ask for? Let's get it started.
Milos, the crowd yesterday for the semi-final was unbelievable. The sound was wild. I mean, you told me the R6 crowd can bring it, and they really did, but I need to prepare myself for the grand final. This is going to be nuts.
Look, there's been multiple instruments, if you will, that have been brought forward here. Shall we do some testing? I got a decibel meter. I even have a feed on it. So
perfect.
Give me what you got.
Well, over here I've got some clappers. Some clappers. Here we go. Ready?
Away.
Let's see how this works.
86 decibels.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Wow. There was some screamers, some yellers in the audience.
One specific person on the face side, but yes, go ahead.
I'll try.
87 decibels.
Was that really 87? That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
We've got one more thing here, though. The drums.
All right.
That's pretty good. I mean, 87, 88, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's not enough. I don't think it really replicates what happened yesterday and what's going to happen today.
Adam, you're missing the force for the trees. All three of them combined with an audience. That is not something you're ready for.
I am so not ready for it, but I cannot wait to see how it looks. Milos, let's do this thing. Here we go, grand finals. Let's do it. Yeah, that's right, Paris. My guy, good to see you here. Welcome back, bienvenue à Paris, and welcome back to the Esports World Cup, where today it is grand finals day here for Rainbow Six Siege. It is all about to go down as one team will walk away as champions by the end of the day. My name is Adam Savage. This is the magnificent Milos. And let's not forget here, a grand final later, but we still have ourselves a third place showdown coming your way. Club championship points up for grabs, tons of money up for grabs as well here. There's still lots and lots to get excited about.
And I'm just going to add it here. Third thing, very, very important. You get to see which region is actually better. Sure, Brazil is best. Yeah. We've all kind of adapted to this over the past few years, but it's a classic NA-EU matchup, NAL-EML going up against one another, and I will 100% abide by the result of this game to see which region is the best. There's no way I am going to change my mind or adapt it in any way, shape, or form.
You're laying it down, Milos. You laid it down.
Sure.
Do you know what? I mean, you mentioned Europe and NA as well. I'm thinking after this is all over, done and dusted, you and I, imagine this. We go on a road trip, right? We go backpacking into Europe, maybe get a little car, go around the whole of the NA as well, check out North America. Be amazing sightseeing together, you and I, buddies. You up for it?
Right. I'll give you Ian's number.
Ian's number. Thank. I wasn't that fussed anyway. Go with it's fine. Never mind. What we're focusing on right now is this third place showdown. Who will walk away in third place? Let's find out. Let's meet the teams. First up, would you please welcome to the stage, it's Dark Zero! They came so close to a second final in 2026 on the bounce, but they play now for pride. A huge chunk of prize money up for grabs, and a chance to show the world that the NAL can dominate the EML. How will they fare? Will they manage to dispatch their opponents? Let's find out.
I won't allow you to talk so much smack about my region on this stage while we're here in Paris, but that's just fighting words. So let's bring out their opponents. Please join me in welcoming GK Esports! The last EML Hope have made it here into the third place. Yo, you want to talk about on the other side? You got major champions. They're in third place. You know who's playing on the other side? A team that did not exist only a few months ago. All together, the plucky GK have made it to the third place matchup. Someone no one would have expected. They've defied all of these expectations, all of these thoughts and ideas and feelings that have had over the past few months. Now they're here to prove themselves in their own region.
Oh, yes, they are. Should we ask our teams, Milos, to make their way forward?
You guys have back.
You can go forward, folks, to your gentlemen, to your places.
Come on in, Jan.
But asking two players representing our teams to come forward. And,
two players with a bit of history.
Yeah, oh, yes, indeed. Some last words, Milos.
Come on.
Fighting words.
All right, let's go in first. Yaga.
No, I got nothing to say. You know, we both got our keys crushed yesterday, so we're just going to have some fun today.
And in response, we're getting very close here, by the way. I like this. This is really intense. Any opposing words?
Just don't like this guy.
Whoa.
Bring it up.
This is getting heated in here. On that note, let's send them back to their seats, gents, before this gets too crazy.
We're not even shaking hands.
Back to your seats. No, not even shaking. Let's shake hands. Shaking hands. Yes, we are.
Hey!
Okay. I was getting worried for a second. Fellas, incredible scenes there. I like this. There's obviously a relationship there. There's a rivalry, but there's also a friendship there too.
It's just how it is. Once you get into the server, that is when things change. So let's get this one started. A third place matchup. Dark Zero, GK Esports. Let's get it on.
I mean, I might have seen my boy Keon over there up on stage. Man, he's pushing. I remember Keon being a little taller though. He's about 6'3". So at the end of the day, some fun trash talk there. Kino steps back with the squad. Dark Zero guys, Batman and Robin, as I'm gonna call you now forever. We get to set this stage up, man, and it's fun. Both teams seem ready, and that's exactly what you need to be.
I think there are two ways to approach this kind of matchup when you're in their shoes. You can, dwell on the past and you can be disappointed that you're eliminated, or you can choose to have fun.
Yeah.
And I believe both of them have made that choice. I think it's exactly the right approach. You're there is fans, there is a stage, there is money on the line. Let's just have fun. The pressure of making SI through EWC is gone. You can't do it. That dream is gone completely. Let's just have fun. Let's just enjoy the moment.
I love it. It's kind of a tough line to draw because it's kind of hard to have fun if you lose on stage like this. Would you agree? Fun is winning?
But I feel like also too fun is the approach, and I feel like if you have that approach, you can also win right now too, and then that winning, like we said, gives you a lot of money too.
That's right.
They're not playing for the money, but you see the trolling kind of coming out from Kino and Yang, both being ex-teammates, both being ex-teammates of mine. I know their personalities very well, so they're in a very fun spirit right now, so it's going to be a good game.
Now, I know why you don't care about money, because you're Bruce Wayne, dog. Now I understand. Now it makes sense.
Oh,
it's
like
like
Stewart, the guy that builds all the gadgets.
If I'm Alfred, man, I'm trying to get some paper. I'm like, can I get some overtime? Guys, this is fun as well. I love the statement of this is a game that you are kind of battling your expectations from coming into the tournament with what is present in front of you now. For me, that does lean towards Dark Zero having the edge. I think this is a very mental game. I've seen 5 weeks of these third place matches, and it's very hard, I find, for teams to come in with the attitude you would expect if you want to perform. So what do you need now? Let's talk tactically for Dark Zero to make this work against GK, because you got some maps you favor, some maps that both of you are very good on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, it's the read into GK's playstyle. We've mentioned it multiple times. That playstyle is very unique. They like to lurk a lot. They like to find gaps, and when there are no gaps, they will like like to create them. So for a team like Dark Zero, they need to take a page in the book of what FaZe did, which was getting close to each other, not having enough big gaps, and making sure that there's a trade potential every time you face a GK player lurking around, especially on attack here.
Getting rid of the Habana here, going to hurt the IT breach. You see a lot of teams like to Habana where the mirror is to counteract not getting C forward. Getting rid of that, let's see if they get rid of the mirror off of that, or they go over with the Bandit here. Getting rid of the Bandit right now, get rid of the Thermite too. You're going to see Ace coming out for the breach. You're going to have to carefully impact trick.
Yeah, look at that. They bring the Mira, or they bring the Azami. Izami will, I'm sure, have the impact. They'll place the Mira on that hard bridge, and will be all the impact trick here.
They're probably going to Thatcher too for the C4 to counter it. Look for that.
Well, of course, what we needed to do in a battle of North America and Europe is bring in some representatives from Denmark and Australia. That's why we got Dev and Pengu on the cast here. Gentlemen, what do we think heading into this one to kick off our Grand Finals day?
That's a great question, Rain Day. What do we have in for us in a third place matchup when we thought we were about to enter the era of North America? Now it really just comes down to Dark Zero to try and salvage a bit of pride. We have two Brazilian teams in the final, and now we have a classic NA versus EU matchup.
You say salvage pride for NA. What about EU getting back some of their own pride teams, right? EU's been in the gutter for way too long now, and GK, not the team of thought that we left standing here at the very end, representing Europe.
No, not at all. I mean, Team Secret from Europe.
Falcons.
Team Falcons. They were both top 3 at the Six Invitational.
We have Fnatic. They were there.
Fnatic appeared. Like, how is it that it's GK, the last ones standing for Europe, but they can still salvage a third place finish here at the event? Now, for GK, for the Esports Club, they've played with 3 main rosters throughout their history in Rainbow Six. First in the MENA region, and then in Europe, and then recently rebooting their entire roster after Six Invitational this year. They have never made it to top 4 before, Pengu. This is a huge moment for them.
That's why I think this third place match is actually going to not matter more than usual, because it always matters, but I think the teams are going to take it just a little bit more serious because they want to get that third spot. Whether it's for the money, the fame, the glory of winning, proving to Orc that this was the right decision for the roster. Iconic was right. The Thatcher brought out, deny any sort of C4 toss their way on the breach, but it's going to be impact grenades instead there from J9O. And this has just been the classic at this event so far. All about the mirror window on the breach, playing around with the hot destruction, the impacts, the C4, and so much of the round can be determined early on, because if you're successful disrupting that first step of the attackers, it's going to make the entire round from the afterwards so much more challenging.
That's right, that hard breach ability becomes so much of the battle here, especially the way DZ like to play with those bans. Janino continuing to try and hold on to Rafters for as long as possible, but he can always peel back that next layer. He might even be able to reinforce top Rafters if he uses that Keeper barrier to cover him. However, we do hear some breaching going down from the Selmas. He will not get a chance to reinforce this wall of Rafters as Upor has made his way inside. GK inch their way closer to the bomb side.
Yeah, looking pretty good. They got IT, they got Catwalk. That's 2 of the 3 areas of pressure that they need. But I feel like often you want that third spot. It could be a player below, for example, Sophia, but that's not going to be the case right now. So it should be a late round flank. The C4 that could be good for 1 at least. Gets popped off, but they juke it. They walk straight past it unknowingly, despite having Thatcher with 6 more EMPs in the pocket. Not needed just yet.
Unlucky timing there for Foltz, but now he gets out the shotgun, tries to continue fighting him with the verticality, but now he's receiving some fire himself. He'll need to get out of dodge. He'll need to rotate now. The Dark Zero, while he's downstairs below, he can continue to be a threat to deny the plan. As we see another facet of this attack come into action here from Ars, coming in through Con. Upor and Grubby together get active as NJR is forced back to that bomb site. Down, but not out as of yet. All up to Foltz. The man who wanted to pose for plant denial now has a 1v4. Grubby with the pistol to finish off the 2 final kills. GK swimming into the first round on Nighthaven Labs.
Such great strategic understanding there from GK, though. Again, there's a young early roster here for the organization, but in the server, they understand the pressure points, when to push together, and also where their attack should be mounted from. It starts off on the breach, it's slow and steady, but to get the wall open up. And then very important detail, they have can opener, that second layer of hot destruction on York, who's playing the Sophia, and he walked into Calgrafters right here, opened up the left-hand side wall. That applies so much pressure on the side itself, and it forces both J9O and Kino deep into the Aqua hallway, and that gives GK a way into the bomb site to get the first couple of kills and to start prodding and prying with those DMR angles.
Attacking is where it's at for GK here.
DZ chose this map pick, which means that GK wanted to start on this attacking side. Now, DZ, in most of the games that you and I have casted, Pengu, they've actually been much more of a defensive-favored team.
Yes, they have.
Their attacks can be strong, but their defense is where they really shine, especially when it comes to denying rushes, denying plant denial. We saw that a lot in their previous matches in the series that we played here on the main stage here, whether it's against Weibo or against Furia. Yeah. Of course, eventually Dark Zero did fall to Furia yesterday. Funnily enough, GK, on the flip side, the only team at this tournament who has actually managed to defeat Furia, our grand finalist, and that was all the way back in the group stage. It was a convincing 7-4 on Lair and a 7-4 on this same very map of Labs.
Shibber just, I don't know, supportive work there, adjusting Ask microphone without asking for permission, it looked like. He's like, what are you doing? It's my microphone. Now, something that I guess isn't talked about very often, small little insight if you're a player, right? The way that you handle your TeamSpeak or audio setup at LAN events is so different from team to team. So you might be thinking, can you hear the crowd at a LAN event? Usually no. You got your in-ears, you got the soundproof headset with white noise being spammed in the background. However, when your microphone is picking up your own voice, the background of the crowd kind of bleeds into it. And not in the sense that you can tell what they're saying, it's just a lot of noise in your ear.
Yeah.
So some pro teams, they will have push to talk, where you gotta hold on the button and somehow spawn in a sixth finger to hit that key to then speak to your teammates. Some, they have toggle mute, so you will click a button, now your microphone is muted, you'll click again, now it's unmuted. That's what I would do because I can't hold down a button, I have 6 fingers.
Did you actually do that, or did you...
There were some events where it was either the headset or the speaker setup was just very sensitive, and if we didn't do it, couldn't hear the game sound.
Yeah, wow.
Because the issue is, you gotta balance the in-game audio to hear the footsteps, the C4s, etc., the plant sounds, but also balance it with the TeamSpeak, hearing the teammates going for the callouts, right? And you have different players balancing it differently. But the other option is that some people will just play open microphones and you cannot hear a damn thing. Or they play open microphone with such a high threshold on the gate that you gotta scream for the mic to pick it up.
Yeah.
And I've only played in one team. I played in Penta. That became G2. I'm honestly so curious what the average outcome is. Like, what do most pro teams go for? Because no one discusses this. I never hear people talk about it.
Talk, toggle talk,
yeah.
Or voice activity where it detects you, and then you have to have, as you say, that threshold. And if the threshold is too low, then you're going to hear all of the crowd noise all the time. If it's too high, then you're really going to have to scream to make your call-outs. Yeah, interesting. I do wonder. I would love to talk to some of these teams. Of course, a lot of the players are quite the opposite to you. A lot of the players in the server right now have played on various different teams. I mean, very long careers. Yoga, for example, his career has been over 8 years long, similar kind of duration for Faults. A lot of the players, I mean, everyone on Dark Zero has been playing professionally for 5+ years, some way or another, similar for GK. We've actually got a lot of ex-teammates on these two teams. 3 of the players in the server right now actually played for that old Oxygen roster. OXG, of course, Kino, Newers, and Yogo. We got to see a little bit of that, the sass on the 1v1 on stage when Kino refused to shake Yoga's hand. All fun and games for these players that have quite a history together.
5 seconds left.
How crazy is this though? Yoga has actually played at 11 S-tier final events on North American teams before this one where he's playing for a European.
Yeah, I mean, OXG, they used to make a lot of tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, for example, a couple of years ago, 6 Invitational 2025 in Boston, Newers and Yoga were on the same team. They made top 8 with OXG after coming through the LCQ, by the way. Yep. They knocked out G2, Shopify Rebellion, and they beat SSG, which was Faults, J&O, and Callout's team at the time.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Second round, second time the mirror went on IT wall is successfully impact denied. This is why you leave the ace open. It's the operator that you can easily impact trick against. With the Sky Repellers, you can just do 2 at a time or do a bunch at a time and open up the whole wall. With the Ace Helmet, you're gonna pop the first layer, then you can impact through it and deny the second layer. That means there's only a peek hole upstairs, not like an entry path forward for late round usage. And the less ways you have in the building as an attacker, well, the less pressure points you have to enable yourself, and the less areas DC have to be worried about. The third Selma went out. That one was not impact trick there from J9O. So IT now is fully under pressure by the attackers.
Nice. So efficient here from GK. They are such a well-oiled machine. So much experience on this roster from different teams. I mean, Ask and Yog with their own history. Even Grubby now is becoming a bit of an experienced player. He's played at a number of international finals now. Sarks and Upor starting to come into form as JNO spots out Yog on the Monty, trying to make his way up the rafters stairs. Really poising a bit of a threat. Can't afford to look away from the Monty for too long as Yog will just go for the ADS fight.
Swinging the first bit of action. C4 goes out, takes down Yog, who's actually playing the Monty. Injured as well, trading back.
Very nice here from DZ. However, they do lose a player. Will they lose another? No! Kino with a quick drop shot onto Upor. Big kill. The Monty down, the Grim has been taken care of. DZ maintain control of the top floor. 3 players still up stairs, 1 in IT as well. And all the progress GK thought they had made has been for nothing.
Kino really just said, fine, I'll do it all myself. C4, shotgun kill, finds the 2 openings. Now just kind of play the corners to play back the layers. But I think there's a read here from Grubby on the bridge. Doesn't matter if Fulls is better, stands up. Cleans Grubby's head right off. Now they got the virtual bomb site. Oh, Kino finds another. Fulls finds the final player in Ask, who's playing downstairs, jumping in the bomb site window. An easy round there from DC.
Funny though, because the very start of the round looked like a perfect dry run from GK. They breached open the wall, they took some map control, they opened up the vert. But as soon as they lost that skirmish on the top floor, it was over.
It's so rare that Monty will die to C4. Taking about 75-80% of your health with a perfectly landed C4, that's very common. But outright dying to it, unless it did a double C4 toss, because Fulls also lost C4 earlier, I'm not entirely certain, but I didn't catch it if they did. Either way, perfect counterplay. Understand that, hey, if we just deal with the Monty, that's pretty much the entire push that we stopped.
Yeah. It was a good plan from GK, but DZ, they're good on their defense. Like we said, 1-1 on their map pick. And this classic DZ, they just love leaning into specific operators for as long as they possibly can to hope that it gets baited out and banned. And in this case, at the moment, it's been false on that mirror. He's often playing these power ops on defense that then tries to force out that tertiary ban. Yeah, we saw a lot of Clash.
Yes, I was going to say, you know, he's gonna what he's going to play when you bend the mirror? He's going to play the Clash.
Yeah. And he's going to be really good with it as well. He's a scary force to be reckoned with, especially if you want to play shields. GK haven't been relying too much on the shields. Obviously, they played Monty last round, but they've got all the 3 main shields plus Fuse available should they want it.
I think the beauty of the way that DC and Fulls they play the Clash is that it doesn't feel like they do it as a shield countermeasure. They do it to enable a style of their own. So it's not that they are dependent on GK to play into it or not. It's about, oh, well, we have the Clash. We can play the kitchen bomb side here on Night Labs. We can play a 4th option to go for more counters or more specific niche strats in the server. And one thing that they've been doing twice now as well is the pulse. Using the verticality against GK, because when GK has been on the attacking side so far, they like to say, we're going to attack IT, we're going to attack Catwalk, and they send 2, 3, 4 attackers. The more people that come together, the higher the chance for a C4 to find a kill. Yeah. Which arguably probably should have happened in the very first round, but Garby just kind of sidestepped it last second.
Wow, what an angle.
This time it's NGR's turn on the pulse.
That's a really cheeky angle from JNO. He's standing behind one of those cabinets in IT with a one-way angle over the cabinet and then through the mirror window. He can't be contested. Onto that angle, let's manage to do a little bit of damage onto Yog, who's now taking a little bit of damage from his own Boogie drone, I believe, as he's made his way into kitchen. Deathmark fails as Mute is helping DZ out, avoid detection from the Deimos as the Roamers continue peeling on back. Still 2 on the ground floor and 1 faults all the way upstairs in servers. But it seems to be a push onto the bomb site. GK have realized that this roam from DZ is extensive enough that it leaves the bomb site vulnerable.
Oh, News wants to kill though. Sees so much pressure upstairs in the roam game, but News is better. Finds 2, then finally traded back. But they know this bomb site is relatively weak.
Yeah, indeed they do. And Fultz is a 3 armor, 1 speed operator all the way up in servers. He must have some kind of vert angle to try and help out as the push comes into the bomb site, but NJR from behind will take down Ask. 2 versus 4 for GK, Sarks and Yog try and get active. Try and make their presence known, but they will have to recollect that diffuser before too long as well. SMG-12 in close range. Kino, he's usually trusted with that shotgun. Yog does find NJR. Maybe this is winnable. They've got that defuse. They've got the pick. A retake could happen here from DZ. As the phone is ringing on out, Sarks will go down. The verticality works out in favor of DZ. And Yog is forced to go into the 1v1. Bit of damage on Aquino, not enough as of yet. Worried about the flank from behind. Pistol comes out, 1v2. 30 seconds, still got to get that defuse. And both of his opponents are upstairs. Faults so patient the whole game. He was roaming upstairs. Finally finds the last kill for DZ from above.
Very well done. Only one thing missing there from the attack inside. No hard breaching whatsoever. So single breach was closed off, enabling Kyun to play inside of that small box. And the double wall leading to the bomb site, same story. It wasn't open. That means that GK have so few ways in throughout the bomb site. And the vert that they did above was used against them because they lost the roam battle. It's been an awkward position. Arbiter Band's expecting the Mira. On the flip side, maybe a Solid Snake, maybe a Monty. It's going to be the Monty and the Mira, yeah. I was thinking you do Solid Snake for roam clear if you're fearing that kind of gap-finding playstyle, or you take away the Monty because now again the Clash gets a higher value. If they do play the shields, it'll be Fuse, Blitz, or Blackbeard, all of which cannot exist against the Clash. And if they were to ban the Clash and not the Mirror, you just keep doing the Mirror stuff.
Yeah.
So this is again DC forcing their enemy into a lose-lose position.
Yeah, it's classic DZ. They have so many good tools on their defensive side. They know how to flip between them. They have a very deep strat book. A lot of good shots, though, from the GK players. DZ, though, those setups, too complicated. You can't cheese them. But you're right, that Solid Snake not getting banned does mean that there's more likely going to be opportunities for GK to quickly find space for free and get in that building, get in the bomb site like they did last round. The problem is, Solid Snake's weakness is actually vert, because his gadget only tells you what's happening on the current floor that you're standing on.
They should really boss that, shouldn't they? Like, why would it only track the floor that you're on? What if you could go up a floor, down a floor as well?
I feel like Solid Snake is a pretty buff guy, right? Like, he should be able to hold 2 F2s at once. Oh! And they have the same recoil, right? He's got 1 in each hand. So it does double damage. What do you think?
I mean, if you have 2 weapons, right? I would argue that they recoil counteracts each other.
That's
because
right.
you get even
one upside down on top of the other one.
Yeah,
Zero
exactly.
recoil.
They go into each other.
Genius.
We all know that when you wear a backpack on one shoulder, it's awful. But if you have 2 backpacks, 1 on each shoulder, it equalizes the weight distribution.
Genius.
And therefore, it's easy as.
Genius. Love it. It's the kind of 300 IQ strats that you can only get when you've won 2 championships and been washed up for the last 6 years.
I was gonna make a point, actually. Almost every single player in this lobby has had a longer playing career than myself. Counting both Tier 2 and into Tier 1, because Upor might be into Tier 1 competition, but been in Tier 2, Tier 3 for years.
Yeah, he has. Yog, one of, like I said before, the longest running players remaining from North America, no longer in North America, here in Paris, playing for a European squad. He finds the first kill. J9O goes down. That regenerative utility of the Azami. A good one to take down early, reduce the value the defense can gain from it. But DZ are no strangers to fighting from a numbers deficit on the defense.
All a matter of how DC can restabilize. It is going to be that top floor bomb side, so in terms of options, kind of just going to go for a kill somewhere. Could be Kino forcing a shotgun fight inside of E-Box. Could be Newers going for a flank, playing by meeting. They've actually misdroned him so far. They double back. But I think still a small gap being found there. Doesn't matter. Newers shots the drone, falls on back. NGR elsewhere did find a kill, so back to even ground, meaning that now Newers has to value his life a lot more and really escape back to side, which he will do successfully.
He does indeed. Good shot though from Yog.
He's down Faults.
Another big one with the Commando. 4v2 now with Faults still on the floor and separated. He is dead meat. As soon as GK realized they found that pick, it should be over. Newers going for a flank. He is shut down. Good patience now from the European squad as NJR has it all to do. I think I've seen this before. I swear I saw this just yesterday. Surely not. Arse just needs to go for a plan. Don't pull the herds on me right now. NJR continuing to jiggle peak. GK no, I believe that this is a 2v1. In fact, it's now confirmed. Now Yog goes down. It's Arse that has to clutch, and he will, thankfully so. NJR, oh so close. But a second round is found for GK.
Dude, NGR, disgusting. Getting that lean tag in there. That could be Newers teaching me trigger too, I think, because that looked like a Newers play. And I will say, watching DC for as long as they've been around, I think NGR having to be on Thermite for so many years and Heartbreak seeing supportive roles, I've always been like, what is this guy doing playing supportive characters? Because there's been so many times, like going back to Charlotte Major even, the DC Charlotte Grand Final, when NGR was forced to become an entry in a round gone bad for DC, this guy is nasty.
Oh, yeah.
And now on DC, with a little bit more freedom in the playstyle, especially on defense, he's really coming into his own now.
Yeah.
Seeking those moments, seeking those plays.
For sure. And look, NJR, what a long career he's had. But funnily enough, the entirety of his Tier 1 career has been with Dark Zero. 5.5 years. In that time, he's won 2 majors. Yep. With 2 completely different rosters. Charlotte way back in the day with the Canadian DZ, and nowadays with Fultz's DZ as well. A long career, especially considering he is only 23 years old. 23 years of age, and he spent his entire adult life playing for DZ.
That's impressive. Not many players end up in just one spot for so long. I mean, Mint was also a player back in the day that kind of stuck around one team that became another team, and then, he retired.
Hey, don't forget about Mint's esteemed coaching career with Unwanted, top performing team at Boston. I
suppose.
Got to give my boy Mint some credit. I still have an old Flipside charm on my,
I was gonna say same.
my collection.
It's in there. One of the OGs of the scene, one of the OG Shield players as well from NA.
Yeah, you guys used to steal their strats and doing them better as well. Back when I was a Flipside fan, I had to become a Penta fan because on the OG Clubhouse CCTV where no one played, they were the only team that went to it, and then you stole their strat and did it better.
And you're like, these guys are the better Flipside players.
Yeah, I was like, yes, I have to be a European fan too now.
I love how much the OGs have done for the scene. I mean, we make the joke that, this player walks that these players could run sort of thing, right? And it's really true.
Sure.
And speaking of NGR, learning from Troy, the way he started his career, and now teaching the younger generation probably that he's going to have around him later in his career, same things as well.
Totally.
It's beautiful.
A lot of young players, though, on DZ. Well, young depends on your perspective, right? 23 is the youngest age player for a DZ player, and most of them have had already very long careers in Tier 1 because they were those gunners picked up at 18 years old. Every single one of these players falls into that category, and now they have the experience to be major champions, and so they have done so a couple of months ago. Now they need to fight here. 2-2 is the score as an aggressive run out from Fultz does not pay dividends. Good trade, however. GK restabilize. Sarks manages his pick on IT. Kino wants to lash out again as DZ fall back again. They're happy to give up top floor control to GK.
There's a good two-fanged attack there. The catwalk window with the IT breach working well together. But time has been taken away here from GK, and they still have attacker outside the building. They haven't progressed close enough to the bomb site itself just yet. I mean, if they want to go for it, just like jumping inside the window, they're free to, but super risky. JR's covering one side window, swings it actually, and gets shot down. That right there loses them a bit of control by that B bomb site, forcing Kino for a rotate to retake that position as best as he can.
GK is so patient. I love that from them. They're so quick at the start of the round with their setups. They've dry run 100 times, but when they're in the advantage, they don't overcomplicate things. It's a 4v2 right now, 30 seconds remain, but this bomb site is very hard to plant safely in because you can be denied vertically from above or below or flanked on the bomb site. Both players on the site here for DZ. GK, though, be careful. Don't expose yourself one by one. Why are they exposing themselves one by one? Sarks makes it a 1v2 now. He has to get that defuse back again. Thankfully, Grubby doesn't let Kino get away with a clutch, and GK will take the lead.
Again, way too close for comfort. Newer is doing such a great job fighting back and isolating those kills, but I will also have to say this, swinging for the third, that's the adrenaline most like saying, oh, I got this, I'm gonna keep going, right? I'm fired up, and then he gets shot down. He's kind of mid-air vaulting down, not a great spot to be in. He had a crossfire with Kino, who was watching it all with him. So you can argue a little bit there, unnecessary for that final third swing.
10 seconds remaining.
Good end of the round from the young guns of GK, though, Sarks in particular. A young Italian making his debut onto the main stage here at EWC. One more round left in this half, Pengu. DZ picked the map. Tell me what you told me this morning, because we've been talking about DZ a lot during this tournament. We've been saying, well, major champions, one of the tournament favorites, DZ, Wildcard, and FaZe were our three championship contenders as we saw it coming into the event, right? But you were telling me you actually think GK have a shot in this match today.
I do think so. I mean, DC, they haven't been... Oh, so I didn't watch every game of Salt Lake because we didn't work it as casters. I watched it passively. I was as a content creator, whichever. But looking at them, having caster games here at EWC, it does seem like they're a slightly weaker version of themselves. Sure. And FaZe have shown signs of that as well early in the tournament. I think Fury started off looking very weak and vulnerable too. And I think GK right now, having that same kind of Cinderella story as, you know, your wild card, your team secret, where they're running off just like passion, the fumes, and they're just like so excited to be here, so happy, not feeling that kind of pressure. Whereas DC, they have probably in their own minds let themselves down by playing for third place. They should be in the grand finals as the next matchup, trying to play for a trophy.
100%, but look, DZ, they've been really good. We've seen a lot of high-quality siege from them, but they were also 2 rounds from elimination to CAG in the group stage. They were 2 rounds from elimination against Weibo in their quarterfinal.
Exactly.
It hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows for DZ, and right now, fighting from behind on their map pick is not a good spot to be in, especially on their preferred side of defense.
They got that pocket pick, right? The 4th bomb site unlock, Clash enabled as well. Finally, in the 6th and final round and a half, it's going to be Kitchen.
This is classic DZ. We love Kitchen.
GK have seen this probably 11 times in the last 3 matches that DC have played on this map because they do go there at a high frequency. They're tagging in a very unusual way, doing a full sweep from Catwalk IT in towards Pillar to then get the verticality above the bomb site. What they want to do is box DC into a corner in an unfavorable spot and then take the side control in a 5v5. The only issue is, by going for full map control, the timer is a much larger problem as there's so many areas to check, to drone, to clear, and so much map to keep control over. And there is a small gap right now. I think Kino has gone more or less unnoticed here by Top Aqua.
There is a flank watch drone, but nobody's watching it at the moment. I saw it placed by Ask early in the round.
They know.
And indeed, there's a flank watch player. You pour potatoes a little bit. Thankfully, he still withstands and finds the kill. Now he's continuing to watch up on the top floor as DZ have this roam up above with the ADSs and the keeper barriers, but bedded into movement here from NJR. Grubby moved all the way from the other side of the map to sneak up this staircase and cut off DZ. GK are reading them like a book, and now DZ must rely on some hero plays on the bomb site to win the round.
GK right now have to play for kills because Yoke is outside the building with the diffuser playing as a capital operator, but guess what? They got the full map control. They got the vert up above, Yoke in position on the window. If they can figure out where 2 or all 3 defenders are, they can use the smoke and fire and just guns together and just brute force the bomb site because they have significant numbers advantage, because Newers is so on health. Dokubikol will take him out. He has to answer it.
Yeah, you're right. He has to, and so he will. He can be spammed again shortly by Sarks, but J9O finds a critical kill. Newers will fall to Grubby into the bomb site now. Faults on the Clash, has to have an impact, but he is shut out of it. It's J9O
7 seconds
to try and save the half for DZ, but the plan is going down from Yogg. Good damage though. How does that happen? Yogg team kills. Is there a 1v1? Yogg cannot afford to lose this. The Clash shield against J9O. Yogg has to land this shot. J9O looks for the rotate. He might be able to move around, go into the other side of the bomb site, look to try and take the advantageous position, boost it up, bit of damage, 1 HP, now for Yogg. He just needs to buy more time. J9O up and over! Yogg clutches the round for GK! 4-2 in their attacking half!
With the Clash shield as well, what an incredible way to find it. We're getting into the halftime side swap. Let's listen in.
For supplying command, we go back to defense. Keep in mind, all this guy is doing right now is he has a cam inside a rafter. He's waiting Jack either as soon as you get aggressive towards like the rafter door, as soon as you layer out to hop in and take that space. So if we want to play the pulse off that bulker, we can. You can look for a micro there. Like basically, they'll have one guy on the roof holding the water door, and then he plays like close off the window and looks for that hop. So if we identify there's no guy on the roof, you can call Kino to swing that, or we can just say fuck it, and then consolidate back a little bit quicker towards the globe side. That's pretty much for both supply and command. It's got to be kind of one or the other, because they're just ripping that gap on us the entire time, and Jack's by himself. So either we go with Jack, have 2 there extended, one helps for like the rafter door tool side, the other one holds for that, or we do the pulse micro, or we just consolidate back. It's kind of one of the 3. But we can't really just do the solo extension like that. It's not panning out for us right now.
Heard.
Yeah.
Heard. Okay. Heard.
On the attack side, just a reminder what I talked about. First,
triple, so, you know,
For basement, it's again probably going to be like the first floor explosion, and for storage they usually like the Kina jump with the Thatcher on the side, and so kind of be yoga prepared for that and like think about how you're going to play against
Start close window, I guess, Yoga. I'm gonna do the bandits right on the basement. They probably gonna let it open.
Let's see the bounce. I think if the bandit is open, then just play it on like skip it on the top floor, I think, and play it only like basement and if needed on the storage, because otherwise they will have like Zofia to counter it.
Yeah, one more thing. I think for top, I think we should like expect like crazy stuff. So in the early rounds,
guys, one thing I'm gonna.
The voice of a very deep man right there from Shepard. Yeah. Again, the most I've heard this man speak throughout my entire career. And again, very strategical about the operator bans, the possibilities. Not saying, guys,
we must play the bandit.
You guys can play that.
Play the bandit on the basement.
But also, let's watch the operator bans first as well, right? It's like, don't overcommit to the plan until we know it for sure. And whenever we talk about kind of like how much he measures before he commits to something, you said this last cast, it gives that old Empire vibe, because they had one strat that they perfected on the attacking side that they always just used to know exactly how to counter their enemy. So Shepard would never call something without the full intel, so the operator ban will show exactly what they're going to do in the final end.
For sure, and I really do love the way that Shepard gives so much freedom to the players of GK. Yes. Instead of saying, guys, you have to do this because I said so, he says, oh, think about this. Yeah. Think about this. Here's an idea. Here's an idea I had. You know, it's up to you. Bandit actually gets banned in the end of it by DZ. So I guess Shepard will not be able to be getting his teammates to play that. But
the only way that works, the only way it works when you have a coach who gives a lot of freedom, though, is when you have players take initiative, right? Shepard starts saying what he wants to share, taking that initiative.
Totally, and I did hear